Hey y'all, man, fish. So everybody's picked up on this USPS Eclipse stamp. There are literally hundreds of articles on it, right? You know, I get it. It's a big deal. First time in 240 years or something like that it's come across the states like this. I understand. It's a big deal. But for whatever reason, it brought to my remembrance little cartoon that was made a few years back called I Pet Goat 2. And I'm picking it up at right here. And this is where, if you haven't seen I Pet Goat 2, I will try to remember to put a link to it. And you're going to want to watch it and try to understand all the various connotations that it refers to. A lot of biblical prophecy, as well as, say, Egyptian, if you will, history. You need to understand these things. But this is the point where the Antichrist figure, we'll call him, is coming through the basically birth canal, if you will, uh, out of the abyss, out of the underworld, on the Anubis, god of the underworld, vessel. And he breathes out his presence. Here we see, for just a brief couple of few seconds, an eclipse around this figure's head, behind him. He's completely on fire in the Anubis canoe, and there is an eclipse. We know their relationship to the black sun, so on and so forth. But the eclipse is important, because as we move forward, we see that that scene really is the beginning of the actual birthing of this figure, as we see Kali, the god of destruction, goddess, god, either or, which happens to be the mascot, if you will, of CERN. If you don't know about CERN, then this isn't going to make much sense to you. But she begins her dance, and then we see these fish jumping into the boat of this Antichrist, false Messiah figure. And those fish, oddly enough, are called sheep's head fish. They're called that apparently because their teeth are like that of sheep. They look like human teeth as well, and they're striped and were sometimes referred to as prisoner fish or convict fish. So we have convict sheep fish. Okay? So they're jumping on board. They're jumping in, and they will die. They will suffocate. Here we see the whore being revealed, is going to become manifest and known and obvious to the world, as it is becoming now, as we've all seen it becoming so. The whole point in this is, as we see the eclipse on the Antichrist figure, and he is approaching the birthing time of his arrival, of his manifestation on earth, we see all these other things being revealed. And here you see the birthing intensifying. You see his spirit basically coming and infecting, I would guess, the financials of the world, all the things that we see happening right now. Bear in mind, this is all following the eclipse behind the Antichrist, who is about to be birthed. And we reach the climax where Kali is getting everything primed and energized, and they're ready to bring their Antichrist into the world. And boom, here we have the great explosion, the shaking, and the Antichrist is birthed. Okay, all immediately following this eclipse that we see on the Antichrist. Back further in the animation here, right here. It's the only scene with him in it, and everything thereafter just goes haywire. That's the climax. So I'm just putting it out there because we got so much going on about this eclipse. It's just insane. I mean, there is. Combined with the sheep's head fish, which, by the way, is extremely well known in the borough of New York. So much so that they named part of the city after it, Sheep's Head Bay. And I will get into many details in regards to how this plays out in New York. But the time frame it's looking to me is to really keep an eye out leading up to, and especially immediately after this eclipse, great sign, if you will, of Revelation 12. Seek the truth is all I truly want you to do, and I hope you do that from a sincere and humble place. And all my brothers and sisters, y'all have a peaceful, graceful day, and we'll talk again later. Many fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God,